Hey everyone, it's Lisa, and today we are going to do something fun. I'm going to have to go ahead and just sit down on my bottom, and it's not the best angle, but I thought if I sat here, let me back, yep. I thought if I sat here that they might come around, and then we could visit with them while I answer some questions. Last night on my Instagram, I asked you guys if you had any kitty cat questions, because I get a lot of DMs about cats, different things. Amaro Wanda 6, how to stop scratching on sofa. Okay, first of all, cats will not scratch velvet for some reason. So if you are choosing a sofa that will be good for your cat not scratching it, then velvet is wonderful. I just ordered a velvet sofa for upstairs. I'm hoping I can get it soon and show you guys. So other than that, ours will do that. Especially, I haven't noticed them doing it to this one that much, but the Living Spaces Utopia sofa that I've got upstairs in my study or office, they used to like to scratch on that. And I tell you, we just, as soon as I see them do it, I fuss at them. And then it gets to the point, Sassy, surprisingly, is the biggest stinker when it comes to that. She will almost know that she's not supposed to do it and do it looking at you and then run off. But they never did it enough to hurt it. So let me go get something real quick and show you. Hold on. I don't want to do that because it might scare them. And I've got Chanel right here, and then Bubba is taking a little nap. That's like one of his favorite spots. And Sassy is actually on my little bench that's in front of my bed. That can of, I don't know, we call it the can of whoop ass. But there's a can of air, and you can turn it on and off, and you can put it wherever you don't want your cats to scratch. Or like I have a friend that says she had this right where her stairs would turn. Her cat always wanted to pee on that landing. So she put it there and stopped it. But I've heard of people putting it on the countertops, on the sofa. But what it does is it's motion activated, and it puts out this really loud burst of air, and they don't like it. So we had to get it because our cat is really sassy. She likes to destroy the weather stripping. Like, we had to replace it at our old house, I don't know how many times, and then we had to replace it at the rental house. And then the first night they went to bed in the garage, which I'll explain that later, they started to do it again. And this is what I want to say. I love my kitties. I think in my whole entire life, I may have been a few years, maybe 2 or 3 years without a cat. I've had cats my whole life growing up. My grandma had cats everywhere. I had a cat in my first marriage. John had a cat when I met him. I had 2. I got 2 kittens when I was single. So I love cats. I don't want to live without them, but I do not let animals, my cats, rule my life. I am not going to not be able to sleep. I'm not going to let them ruin all of my furniture to a point. Now, just like I always say, pets and children, there are things you should expect to happen with children, with animals. You're going to have some accidents. You may have a few scratches here and there, but I'm not going to just let them run my life or keep me from sleeping or let them just ruin my house or anything like that. I'm going to do all that I can to remedy that. And I've never declawed a cat. And I have a little bit of experience with that concept because my mom and dad, I'm sure I told you this before, used to own a boarding and grooming shop for I don't know how many years. And they are building, of course, next door, so you'll hear that. I came in contact with a lot of cats, and my mom did, that are declawed. They were the worst ones. They bite. if you declaw a cat, there is a good chance that they will end up biting. My mom would rather bathe and groom a cat with his claws than without, because I don't think you can put a muzzle on a cat. I don't know, but she got some bad bites. And when John and I first got married, this is a funny story. We had my 2 cats and his cat, and he had a kitty door that he made it out of a piece of wood, and then it was the flap, and it was in the window in the kitchen. And Zipper was her name, that was his cat, would come in and out as she pleased. Well, my cats loved it too, and it had a little door so we could shut it at night so they couldn't get out. And the thing was, there was a couple of problems with this. One, they could bring in animals, like if they caught a lizard or even birds, they would catch it and then bring it in the house about a third or a half dead. And then we would have to catch a bird or a lizard and put it out. So that was one problem. And the other problem was other cats could come in. And we had this cat that lived at the end of the street, and his name was the White Cat. He was beautiful. I mean, a big, huge male white Persian. But they kept him outside. He was beat up looking, and he was, I don't know, he was just a tough dude. He would come in our house and just terrorize our cats. So it got to the point, I mean, sometimes we'd come home and he was upstairs, John would have to go get him. I mean, he was just a menace. But, you know, we didn't hate him. It was just their cats, you know. So one day we came home and the White Cat was on our sidewalk. And John, you know, reached down to pet him, and that cat, I mean, bit John's arm so hard till it was bleeding. And at this point, we didn't realize he was declawed because he was outside all the time and he was tough as nails. And so we went down to the neighbors, and John just wanted to make sure he had a rabies shot because it was a bad bite and it really hurt. And the guy started laughing and said, he's declawed. And because I don't know why he said that. I think John said the cat attacked him. That's what it was. And the guy said, well, that's my daughter's cat and he's declawed. And John was like, well, he bit me. Come to find out, he had his rabies shot, and that was okay. So that's 2 experiences I've had with declawed cats, is animals are going to defend themselves. So I'm not saying that's going to always happen, but that is something to think about. This is from Daphne. Daphne is so sweet, you guys. I'm going to link her channel down below. We have been friends for a long time. We've done swaps back in the day when swaps were the thing, and I think you guys would really enjoy her channel. Just goodness, nothing but goodness. Lisa, how did you get your kitties to get used to going outside and coming back home when you moved? And then I think other people have asked me, are my cats going outside? And someone just said, have my cats scratch the furniture or the walls? Okay, I had 2 Siamese kittens when I got divorced and I was single. I went and bought one of them, and then I adopted the other one, and they climbed the walls. They climbed the door frames. They would run in front of me and climb up past my head. They were so crazy. But that's the only cat I've ever had that would climb walls or door frames. Right, this girl never did. This girl never did. So, okay, back to the question, how do you get the kitties used to going outside and coming back home? Okay, another thing is people have asked me if we've let the cats out here. We have not, and we're not really planning on it. We were kind of like, just didn't know what we were going to do when we first got here, but we have a pretty big screened-in porch, and they like to go out there. I've got a bunch of plants and we go out there a lot. Matter of fact, I just asked John to get me one of those heaters that restaurants have so I can sit out there when it's cold, because I just enjoy it so much. They like to go out there, and this house is right much bigger than any house we've ever lived in. And so they have a lot of different areas and rooms to go in. And I work from home and John is retired. So we're always here. Somebody's always here. We're in and out, you know. So I think that keeps them busy, and they have not asked to go outside. You know, typically they would really, really be trying to get outside. Twice Bubba has taking advantage of us leaving the door cracked because he knows how to open it. And when he went out, he just kind of stopped, and I picked him up and brought him back in. But we live very close to other houses. These lots are very small. And so they're building here, building there. They're finishing up that house. Somebody will be moving in soon. And there's just roads everywhere, construction. So we're definitely not going to let them out anytime soon. And it's looking like we're probably just going to be able to not let them out at all. So here we haven't had to do that. But we have done that so many times that I know how to do it. Okay, my aunt, my whole family, we all, except for my grandparents on my dad's side, and they had stray cats that would be there that I don't know if they fed them or if they were just always there, but they never had a cat as a pet. But otherwise, everyone in my family has multiple cats, dogs. We're just into it. My aunt told me this neat thing about cats, and it's so true. I've watched them do it over and over again, and it is so cool. What you do is the first time you let them out, you stay with them. And this is assuming that your cat isn't just going to dart off and just, some cats are like that. They're just kind of crazy and unpredictable and kind of like Bridget, used to run from us. So I've never really had a cat like that. Most of my cats, you would let them out and I would trail them about 4 or 5 feet. And what you will notice is they will go up to each bush and each tree. They will sniff it really, really good. All around the roots, they'll sniff the leaves. They'll go up to a tree, they'll sniff it, and then you'll see them look up. And what they're doing is they're making like a map in their mind of their home. And you do this just for maybe the first time, you might do it 10 minutes. Maybe the second time, you might do it 15 minutes. Then you'll get to a point about, after the 4th, 5th, 6th time. And this is after you've already been living there a good month. You wait, I would say, 2-3 weeks, a month at the earliest, depending on, like Bubba is easy. I think at the rental house, we let him out for a little bit after maybe 3 weeks. I just haven't had any problem with these kitties. So just like children, it's, they're all different. What they will do is you can let them out and you'll see them and you'll go out and check on them, call them, they'll come to you, and then you might go back inside. And then you'll wait a little bit longer, then you'll go outside, you'll call them, they'll come back to you, and it doesn't take long for them to realize, this is my home. This is where I'm going to come back to. Another thing is always spay and neuter. Always spay and neuter. I think now that's just like a thing to do. When I was little, it wasn't really a thing to do, and everybody's cats and dogs just ran all over the neighborhood. But I know I adopted all 3 of these kitties. If you've been here with me long enough, you know the whole story because Chanel has a special story. We adopted her twice. Yes. So anyway, what was I saying? Okay, so when we adopted them from PetSmart. The cattails adoption, they come in there on the weekends, and we adopted them all together. That is another thing that I wanted to tell you is I wholeheartedly believe if you are going to get more than one cat, get them at the same time. It is not much more trouble at all. You're already going to be cleaning the litter box. Why not just clean one more poop? And they bond. They bond, even if they don't like each other, they bond to a point. And like someone asked me in one of the questions, did they ever fight? Well, mine don't ever fight because they really have never known life without each other. But if I were to bring a cat in now, even if you just have one and then you bring another cat in, that is when you have problems because it's just going to be, one's already established his turf, the other one is coming in, their personalities. It's just going to be an issue. It may work out fine, but there's a really good chance that it may not, because it's the same thing with dogs. You know, you have to get them adjusted. There's going to be a hierarchy. There is definitely a hierarchy here. Bubba is the king. He does not put up with nobody messes with Bubba. You know, they each have a food bowl. They like the ones, I will list it below, that has a pedestal. We went through the whole whisker stress and them not wanting to eat out of the bowl. I tried all different kinds of bowls. That is their favorite one. And when I am scooping out their 1 scoop of food in the morning, when I let them in, Bubba he's not even mean about it. Like if Chanel gets to the first scoop, because she's probably the most aggressive when it comes to just intense, he will not bite her or scratch her. He will just very confidently walk over and just nudge her right out of the way. And she respects him. So she will, you know, just move out of the way and she'll go to the next bowl. Now, Sassy is the least dominant of all 3. She will be waiting behind me until they each establish which bowl they're going to eat out of, because they mix it up. And then she will come to the bowl that's empty. So there is a definite, you know, order within these 3 kitties. Now, one thing that does happen is Bubba has a thing for Sassy, and she can be laying somewhere sweet asleep, and it can be one of 2 things. If she is where he wants to be, he will do this. Or if he's just in that mood, because he can be somewhat of a jerk, he will just go start cleaning her, like cleaning her face, cleaning her neck, bathing her all over. And she will let him do it, but you can tell she doesn't want to. She's almost, you know, nervous. And then it will get ugly. He will end up giving her a soft bite, and then she'll have to hiss at him, smack him, and then she'll run off. And that is just the way it goes. I'm sure that there's like a meaning to that. I think he really loves her. And I just think that that's just their dynamic. With Chanel, if he's in a playful mood, sometimes he'll give her a swat, but it's not in a mean way, and she will scream bloody murder. She's very dramatic. And then every once in a while, I don't think I've noticed it one time here in this house. It happened a lot when I was upstairs in our old house and I was upstairs in our rental house, and I was just in one room. I think that sometimes they get jealous of me, or I don't know, there's like some tension in the air, and Sassy and Chanel will fight. And it's really funny, because they just, it's like a Western. They will be at one end or the other. They will kind of stalk each other. Their tails are flipping around, and they hiss, and then they go running after each other. And I've never known them to kind of like really, really, really get into it, but I usually break it up. And sometimes I'll let them have fun with it, because I think that's another thing with me. I think cats want to be cats. Dogs want to be dogs. And they have instincts. God gave them instincts for a reason. So I try to respect their instincts, like wanting to go outside. I respect that. A cat wants to climb trees. That's the reason they're scratching your furniture. That's the reason they're climbing your walls, because they have instincts. They have things they want to do. I understand we can't all do that. You know, if you live in an apartment or if you live close to things going on like I do, you can't do that. But I still try to always respect their instincts. And I think that little bit of playing and hissing and chasing and stuff like that is part of their instincts. This is something, this is like a big part of what I wanted to tell you. This is their scratching pad. They kind of need a new one. These are the best. I've had the cat tree. I've had the cat scratching poles. I've actually even given them my chair that I sit in upstairs. They like to come over and scratch on that in the morning. That's what I like to do, is they know they have permission to scratch on that, and this is what they scratch on downstairs. Provide them with things to scratch on. This you can get, I don't even know where I got it, you can get it anywhere, Walmart, Target, even at the grocery store, I think. One piece of advice is, it comes with that little bag of catnip. We had to kind of cut that out because they would turn it over and it would just make such a mess. So I don't do the catnip and they still scratch on it like crazy. And so hey baby, if they do scratch on something, what I usually do is kind of show this to them again and kind of tell them, this is what you're supposed to scratch on, right, Chanel? And they do. They just scratch on that thing all the time. And Bubba it was so cute, at our old house that we lived at for so long, he had certain trees in the yard that he would go scratch on. And he had this one tree by our driveway and the bark was just removed from it, but it was like if I had to say, it was an oak tree, and it was leaning a little bit, and it was just the perfect scratching post for him. And he would bend over and look at you like, ooh, he was so proud, and he would scratch on that. And I really hate that they're not going outside, but they just seem very happy, and I just think it's the best decision for me now. So, but with that said, I try to really respect their instincts and, all that stuff. So let's see, that probably answered a lot of questions. Have my kitties had an issue with candles? I had never heard of that until I was watching some video and someone said something about candles. It might have been a home decor video. And I thought, what? I don't know if it's because of the essential oils, because I know that some cats can't handle essential oils, like in one of those vaporizer things. I can't remember it now, what the name of it is. But so it could be that people are talking about, or I don't know if it's the flame, but in both instances, I have never had a problem. I would think the flame would only happen one time. And like I said, animals have instincts. I think that they're gonna know not to mess with that. So maybe it was the oil. How old are your kitties? They look so happy in their new home. They are so happy. They are just I think that's the one reason I haven't gotten another puppy. Well, one of the many reasons is because they're so interactive and rewarding. I do miss having a dog. I miss Bridget. I don't miss having a dog. I miss Bridget. And so they fill that void. And how old are they? I cannot remember. I think they are right around 9 years old. I will really try to find that video where I brought them home. There's a funny video where I had them upstairs because I was scared Bridget was going to chase them, and Bubba got out like during the video, and I saw it and wish I could find that one. Did they get stressed out with the moves? Heck yeah. It was terrible because Chanel and Sassy were under our bed and we could not get them out. Even when I was able to coax Sassy out, our bed was so low to the ground, I could not bring her and my hands out. So Bubba, nothing stresses him out. Loud noises, you can take a blow dryer and just blow dry him. It does not stress him out. And he is a Maine Coon mix, but mostly Maine Coon. He has the mannerisms of a Maine Coon. He looks mostly like a Maine Coon, but he probably has a little bit of something else in him. We have had full-blooded Maine Coons. We bought 2 of them when we got married, long story. But so anyway, they're known for being very calm. They're like the dog lover's cat. So he was able to just put in the cat carrier and go. And we were doing this before the movers got there. But cats know what's going on. They sensed us doing things that morning and, hustle and bustle and everything before the movers got there. And these 2 girls went under my bed. Anyway, bottom line, we could not get them out until we lifted the bed. Chanel took off, went in Brooke's closet and was trying to get into a duffel bag. So I grabbed her, put her in there, and then I don't know how we got Sassy. So they were very stressed out. I brought them here and I put them in Brooke's room, shut the door, and they went in the back of her closet and hid. And someone asked, did they ever cuddle together? They love to be around each other, but as far as cuddling together, that was the only time I've ever seen Sassy and Chanel thick as thieves. I mean, they were like glued to each other under the bed and in the closet. So when push came to shove, they went to each other. And, you know, I don't know, I never like forced them to come out. We actually kept, Brooke had already moved in earlier than us. That's what it was. So her room was already pretty much done. And so we kept that door shut, and then, you know, we opened it and they came out, they explored, and they were fine. They adjusted really quickly. I think your cats want to be with you. They want to be wherever you are, whatever room you're in. They want to hear your voice. They just want to be with you. So wherever you go, if we moved into an igloo, they would want to be with us. I mean, that's where they would be happiest. I don't think if you're moving out of a home into an apartment, your cat's not going to adjust. They will. And they're cats. Don't let animals rule your life. God put them here for us, and they're to enhance our lives. And this is a question that I will go into that. How do we sleep with our cats in the house? We have tried. You cannot sleep with these cats. Sassy will go up around your head and start like messing with your hair. Chanel will run around with her monkey tail and play and scream. Like she was just playing with this morning. This is anything with feathers is what they like to play with. And then I can even remember when I was growing up, our cat that we had, if my mom forgot to put him out at night, he would wake you up. He would just go along your dresser and knock things over and just, you know, they are nocturnal, and they do not want to sleep all night. Even if they sleep most of the night with you in the bed, they will end up waking you up, you know, at whatever time they want to get up. And that's just I'm not gonna not sleep or get up when a cat wants me to get up. So we have always had our garage comfy as can be for the kitty cats. We've always had an air conditioner and a heater. And in this house, we have our garage. It's just like another room of our house. It's sheetrocked. It's got a separate air conditioner and heater with the thermostat. I mean, the door is open right now to the garage. It's just another room. And it's got the nice floors. It's just perfect. So there are litter boxes out there, and John gives them a can of wet food when he puts them to bed at night. And that's usually about, I would say, 8 o'clock. Then he turns on the can of Whoop-Ass and puts it on the top step. So they have learned that they can go around the can when I open the door, but they respect it, and they have not scratched the door. So, and then we even tried to not use the can. They did. They scratched it. So it doesn't train them that well. You still have to worry about it. What was I saying? That's how we sleep at night. And I get up at anywhere from 4 something to, my alarm goes off at 5:30, but I usually get up before that, and I let them in. And then they come straight upstairs and I feed them. I would list below the food that they eat, but it's a urinary tract formula. But how to have house plants with cats. And I'm glad that someone asked that. This is a question that I've been getting lately since I've been talking about plants. I've never really worried about it. Like one plant I've had since I was 25 years old. I never have really thought about it. I think when I had a poinsettia inside one time, someone told me, oh, poinsettias are toxic to your cats and your dogs or whatever. So I never had another poinsettia again, even though I never had a problem. Then my favorite flower to get was lilies. I love the way lilies, they open, you just have them a long time, all that kind of stuff. And Chanel loved to get on our table and, smell the lilies and everything. And somebody said, oh, lilies are toxic. They can hurt cats. So I never had lilies again. So we moved here and I had that plant. plant, the split leaf philodendron that I have had since I was literally maybe 24, and I have just taken it everywhere I've moved. We don't deserve him. Goodness, he's been through a lot, but I cleaned his leaves the other day. He is doing so good. So when I asked you on Instagram, you guys told me what he was, and I was like, that's not on the pet safe list, because when we moved in here, I wanted to get some plants, and so I looked up what plants are safe for animals, because Chanel I had never seen her really bite a plant, but I had seen her get all around them and like sniff them and everything. So, you know, you can easily look up a list of plants that are pet safe. You know, most palms, orchids, just, you can look it up. Ponytail palms, I'll tell you about that in a minute. Ponytail palm is my favorite. So after someone told me what the philodendron was, and after I learned somebody will say, oh, that plant is toxic to animals. Well, what that means is it's kind of like me and my vegetables. Plants, including vegetables, do not want to be eaten. They have things for protection. So just like the calcium oxalates and the, what else? The oxalates and the, oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot that other word, but it's mostly oxalates, are what they are talking about. Now, in some plants, like the dumb cane, you don't want to get that, because what is toxic about that is the sap. So you wouldn't want them to like eat the sap or anything. But most plants, when they say they're toxic, it's because their leaves have oxalates in them, and it will irritate their mouth and their stomach, just like kale and lots of vegetables do to humans, just like, you know, all vegetables do to me. It was interesting learning about that. And so when I started thinking about, you know, I've had that plant for 25 or maybe 27 years now, and it has never killed a cat. I've never had a cat be upset, because what they say is if your cat does chew on one of these toxic plants, what will happen is their mouth will become irritated. It could upset their stomach. They could act like something's bothering them. They would have to eat a whole plant or a lot of a plant for it to, I don't know what it would take to kill them, but to even make them really sick, they would have to eat a lot of the plant. So every time I went to the plant place, like this isn't just Lowe's, it's like Lowe's, Home Depot, but the plant place, Pender Pines, all of these like specialty places where these people are like plant gurus, they would tell me, my cat eats this all the time. Your cat would have to eat the whole plant to hurt him or whatever. But I kept on just buying the boring, you know, cat plants that, you know, there wasn't any great big ones. It just seemed like I was having to get all these little plants I really didn't want. So I thought to myself, I'm just going, oh, I know what it is. Okay, then I got the Ponytail Palm, which is a great, beautiful plant for you to get. My mom got it for me. And I'm not kidding you guys. When I put that palm in the corner of my office, it was like I rang a dinner bell. All of my cats, not Sassy, just Bubba and Chanel, were just drawn to that like it was covered in catnip, and they started eating the leaves. But I knew it was pet safe, and John even said he saw it in the litter box, and they love to eat that. So at first I was kind of trying to get them away from it. I mean, they would even go back in the corner and huddle and not let me shoo them away. And so I just let them have it. They just eat the ends of it. It's still pretty, you know, doesn't faze me. Another one they can eat is spider plant. So that's going to come in the story a little bit later. So I decided one day, I talked to my mom about it, and then I'd heard people say, like, plant people that I was watching on YouTube, they would say, this is toxic to cats, so make sure you keep it away from them. So I thought, yeah, I can just, keep it away. So I went and bought 2 fiddle leaf figs. They're the ones that you saw on my desk upstairs. And what I did is I brought it in, I took it straight upstairs, put it on my desk, and each cat, when they came in my office, I put them on the floor and I observed what they would do. Sassy could care less, didn't even pay attention to it. Bubba sniffed it a little bit, like, what is this? Like anything new, I could have sat a new lipstick on the floor and he probably would have done the same thing. Chanel is very curious and she really likes plants and flowers. So what did she do? She went up to it, she sniffed all around the dirt, she sniffed the leaves thoroughly and walked away. She never once bit it. And that's another thing. You will know if your cats are eating your plants. There will be bite marks on it. So I thought, that's neat. So I kept them on my table, and then I brought Chanel up, put her on my desk, she went over there, sniffed them thoroughly again, walked away, never bit them. So that's interesting. So I ended up going and getting, you should have seen me trying to get this in my car. It was so big, the guy told me, if you can't get that in your car, I can't hold it for you. Which, why did he say that if I bought it? Maybe he said that before I bought it. And maybe I said something like I was going to try to fit it in my car. But anyway, I had to get a little dirt in my car. I had to ride holding it home, but it's a big, fiddle leaf fig. But I was thinking, it didn't have any leaves. It's the tree kind. So I was like, she can't even reach that tall anyway. So, and I have never had my cats try to get in the plant to go to the bathroom or scratch out the dirt. One time she did that on my Ponytail Palm. It was so weird. I don't know what she was trying to do, but she's never done it again. So if you have that problem, take one of those plastic containers that you catch the water with, put a cut in it with a circle and just put it like a collar around your plant. I mean, it's clear, and that should keep them from, getting in there or scooping it out, or put the can of whoop-ass in there and they will quit doing that. Bottom line is, I kept doing that. Every plant I brought home, I would set it down, like if they were big ones, I would set it down right in front of the front door. And Chanel would come over, no other cats would care. Chanel would come over, she would sniff all around them like it's something new, and then she would, she might even get her head all up in the leaves, but she would never bite it. So that just kept happening and happening and happening, and I thought, they know. And then I thought, wait a minute, all 3 of my cats used to go outside every day. To be sure, there's some toxic plants out in the forest. Where we used to live, it was just acres and acres of forest behind us, no houses, and that's where they used to go. So nothing out there ever hurt them. So I thought, they know what is harmful. And I don't think it would take but a little bit for them to figure it out. The other day, I'm like the plant person now. They know me everywhere I go, because I'll go to the places once a week just looking for different things or see what they've got new. And I went to the plant place and I said, what have you got new? Oh, we've got this beautiful Dieffenbachia. They call it the dumb cane. And I was like, why do they call it that? And she said, because the sap, if you ingest it, it will make your mouth, I don't know if they said it paralyzes you. Evidently, it's very, very toxic. Now that one I did not get, because I thought, what if, I don't know, it sounded terrible. But so I told the lady, matter of fact, I was already getting it, and I told her that I wasn't going to get it because of that. She said, my cat eats these all the time and just throws it up. Well, I don't want that to happen, but that just goes to show you, if they eat it, they're probably just going to throw it up. So my last experiment was, I thought, okay, she's not touching anything else over and over again. I mean, I was even keeping them, all my new plants were in my office, and a lot of them still are, because when I finish my room up there, I'm gonna put them out there some. And I would shut the door. Like, I wouldn't even let her get in there while I wasn't in there. And so then I thought, okay, the only plant they are all eating, or just her and Bubba, is still that Ponytail Palm. And I've got another one on the back that they don't really mess with that one as much. And so I decided to get a spider plant, which it's not toxic. So I brought it home, and it's kind of little, but it's still, you know, got that same leafy design. And I'll be daggone if she did not go right up to it, smelled it, and chewed on the leaves a little bit. Now, nothing like the Ponytail Palm, but she knew that. She's so smart. She knew, she won't let me hold her. Look at her. She knew that plant was not toxic. So I still have that one on the floor right beside the Ponytail Palm, and those are her plants if she feels like she needs to eat a plant. But otherwise, she has not bothered any of them. You can tell if they bite a plant. So like I've always said, and I'll say, it's just like, you know, some people can't have plants, you know, toxic plants in their house because their children might do that. You know, cats are different from each other, just like children. If you're scared, don't do it. Just get the plants that are not toxic. But if you want to try something else like a monstera or a fiddle leaf, bring it in one plant at a time. Observe what they do. Keep it away from them. Put it in front of them again. Observe what they do. And just use your common sense. Just use your common sense. So I think that is most of the questions that I always get. Another one I get is cat hair. Look at this. It's everywhere. Like me sitting on the floor right now, even though we vacuumed yesterday, I will have cat hair on me. What do I do about it? I have one of these everywhere. In the car, in my bedroom, in the bathroom, upstairs, and even on the bed, where they lay on the bed. I'll do this before I go to, like when I turn the bed down at night. A lot of times I'll just give it a once over and get the cat hair off. But to me, that's a small price to pay. And I use the Furminator to get mostly on Chanel. The other cats, their fur isn't like that. They don't have a big undercoat, but I use it on Chanel. She loves it. Oh my God, let me go get it so you can see how she acts. Hold on. Look what I've got. She loves this so much, but I will say it takes out a lot of fur. So don't do it too much, because you don't want a naked mole rat. But it really gets out that nasty, nasty undercoat. And because Chanel is overweight, it's very hard to keep her thin. She doesn't groom herself as good as she should. Oh my gosh, you guys. I mean, look at that. It gets out, and all this hair is like really funky. Like if you'll notice, like heavier cats will have dandruff. It's because they're not grooming well enough. We just talked about cutting her down even more. She doesn't even eat that much, you guys. It's kind of sad. So she loves this. And I just put the flea, the drops on their back. I used to use Frontline, now I don't like that anymore. I will put the one that I use down below, and even though they don't go outside, it's easy for cats to get fleas, and then it's even worse when your cats are indoor because the fleas don't have another place to jump off. So I don't know if they got a few out there or what, but so I usually do that flea stuff about, I don't know, once every couple of months. I'll see them scratching, and then I'll put that on them. And come here, come here, come here. Are they cooking you out? Yes. So she really loves this, but like the other cats, their fur is just too long and silky. I know. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope that I gave you some good tips and just have fun with it. Don't, and just expect them to be cats. Like, don't get mad at them for being a cat and doing what cats do. Cats scratch. It would be like going to the beach and getting upset if you got sand on you. It's just what they do. I don't get mad at them for doing cat things. So thank you guys for watching. This Friday is going to be Fashion Friday. I am back. I have ordered some good stuff and I am on a mission and I am so inspired, and I will tell you more about that. But so I don't think I'm gonna have any makeup this Friday. Today I'm using a new palette from Lady Gaga. It's House Laboratories. One of my followers on Instagram told me about how good this palette was. I looked at it, I even put it in my cart, and then I didn't get it. I thought maybe it's too red for me. Then I saw Hung Van Gogh use this palette, and I was like, that's it, I'm gonna get it. And Lisa J has come out with lipsticks and lip liners, and I just got these yesterday. So the lip combo that I have on is her lip liner in Warm Spice, and it has kind of like the Patrick Ta. Very pretty. And then this was my favorite lipstick, Acceptance. A really cool lip combo. So that's what I've got on today. Congratulations, Lisa. I'm so proud of you. Her perseverance, I love it. So I will list her lipsticks and lip liners down below and her channel. Do you guys remember this sweatshirt from the Nordstrom sale? Love it, love it. I'm so glad I got it. It's cool here today. And the pants are the ones from Honey Love. You will not regret one thing from Honey Love. I love all of I just love it all. I've been wearing one of those tanks or camisoles, I think, like every day. And then today I have on one of their bras. And then these are the Saint Laurent boots that I just got. And the boots that I have ordered will make these look so calm. I've really gotten into the Western boots and different boots and stuff, but I love these. I love the way they're kind of worn in and they're suede. And so this is my outfit of the day. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you Friday.